Welcome back to the Boner Cast on 98.7 The Squirt. I'm Dixie.
And I'm Hazelnut.
And tonight, we got some interesting bones to pick. Alright, so, as you guys know, our first topic for tonight was sent to us by a hard one named Mo Lester.
Oh, yeah.
And he asked us, what are our thoughts on RWBY, a show made by Rooster Teeth?
Oh. Well...
Wow, that's an old show.
That's ancient. When did it... the last volume aired in 2020, I think? Or... I don't even know. But...
Well, when was the first volume? Like, remember when it was on, YouTube?
I think, 2015 or something? Wait, no, that's not possible. It must have been, 2011, because it's 8 volumes or so, and they did one every year, surprisingly.
Oh! Yeah, okay.
It's either...
Yeah,
okay,
so...
no, I think it's 2015, actually. Or, no, it's 2012? I think the creator passed away in 2015. Or 2016. Some year.
Yeah, and then the show took an interesting direction. Well, anyways, it was too long.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think before we answer Mo Lester's question, I think we need to kind of recap ourselves and remind ourselves, what the hell happened, right? Because it's been a long time.
Yeah, what happened? So, luckily for you, Mo Lester, and all our other fans, we did in fact watch RWBY, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
and
yeah.
our memory, as we are very young adults, have very great memories. So we're gonna try to recap the show to the best of our amnesiac abilities.
We're gonna use the culmination of our 3 brain cells.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with volume 1, and then we're gonna alternate. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so the RWBY. Let me start with oh, by the way, spoilers ahead. Doesn't matter though, because the show sucks.
Oh yeah.
The show is like dog water. So listen to not your own peril, watch your own peril.
By the way, I'm so glad you're starting off with volume 1 because I actually don't remember volume 1.
I barely remember volume 1.
But I remember volume 2 though.
Alright, so before I start, actually, volume 1 to 3 was created during Monty Ohm's life.
Was Monty Ohm the good one?
Yeah, he's the good one. He started in Red vs. Blue. He's like the god animator.
Ah, yes.
So
okay.
he's responsible for all the good stuff, all the good fight scenes, and then the rest went downhill. So let's start with volume 1. So RWBY, RWBY, however you want to pronounce it, is it consists of 4 teenagers. They all grow up in later seasons. Grow up by 2 years. So R stands for Ruby Rose. W stands for Weiss Schnee. B, I'm forgetting the letters. B stands for Blake Belladonna. And Y stands for Yang Zhaolong.
Yang!
So Zhaolong these nuts in your mouth. So what happens in volume 1? Let's see.
What's important is that they're all 18 except for RWBY.
Well, that happens in volume 4, I think. At the beginning, they're all 17, 16. RWBY's 15. So the RWBY,
okay.
So basically, RWBY Rose skipped a year, or skipped 2 years, I think, from Signal Academy to Beacon Academy. And so since RWBY skipped a year, I guess she's smart, but she's also stupid.
Stupid young.
Yeah, stupid young. One defining trait of her, she has silver eyes. That's important. It'll come up later. It's it never comes up, or it's never as important as it should be.
Yeah.
So she goes to Beacon. She meets a fellow named John Ark.
Oh yeah.
He has blonde hair. He is the basic character.
Yeah.
He's the weakest character.
His name is Basic. He is basic, and he's basically the White Knight.
So they go through a series of hunts. They're called huntsmen, the protectors of the world, called Remnant. So these huntsmen, they go to different academies around the world. So RWBY, she goes through multiple trials. She gets named team leader, as expected, because the show is named after her. Or named, it's RWBY, leader of Team RWBY, so it's redundant. After a while, you meet other teams. The only other important team is Juniper, JNPR. I know it makes a lot of sense. So there's a law or a guide on how to name teams, and they have to consist of 4 characters, and they have to be named in a specific way. So they have to either remind you of a color or be a color or something like that. So Juniper, I guess, green. RWBY, red. So yeah. Team Juniper consists of John Ark, Nora Valkyrie, Lai Ren. No, wait, that's after.
No, yeah,
Jay
it's
and Pura Nikos, and then Lai Ren. So his name starts with an L, but because he's Chinese, his first name is his last name, because that's why the R is used for Juniper. So, Volume 1, they go through a bunch of stuff. At the end of Volume 1, I think you meet Monkey Man.
yeah, Sun Wukong of the Wu-Tang Clan.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
And you learn of a gangster group called the White Fang,
Oh yeah.
led by Roman Torchwick. And I don't know if you meet Neo yet. I think she's next volume.
White Fang was basically racism, right?
They're like white supremacy, but for faunists. So faunists are like the discriminated race in Remnant. They're like furries, so it makes sense.
10%, I think, right? Because like
It depends on how much percent.
Oh yeah, because like someone looks like a zebra while others have ears. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Sun, he has like one of the coolest weapons in the show. He has the gun chucks.
Yeah.
That's the only worthwhile thing in Volume 1, basically. It's just him doing gun chucks, and it doesn't show up until later for like 5 years. But that's pretty much Volume 1. They end on stopping one of the White Fang's operations at like the docks or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty uneventful.
Yeah. So Volume 2. So I'm pretty sure Roman Cancel. I'm sorry, Roman Torchwick, right?
Torchwick.
You know, in Volume 2, he introduction of his goons, right? We got a guy with like metal legs, Mercury, right?
Yeah.
I thought his name was Silver, but
Silver the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Silver the Hedgehog.
Yes.
But basically, he's got he can kick really, really hard, and then there is Emerald, right? Shit, what's her power again?
She has the Sharingan. No, she has Genjutsu.
Oh yeah. And then they basically like they try to like fuck up Beacon, and while that happens, like they're doing their secretive covert operations to like take over the school. You get like Ironwood gets introduced, and he's like, "Yo, we need to bring in more like military because you know."
I think that's Volume 3.
Is that Volume 3?
I think that's in Volume 3.
Really? But I feel like James. Wow.
James Ironwood shows up in Volume 3.
Oh, I did not know that. Well,
do you help with Volume 2 then?
Oh no, yeah. Feel free to help me. But
I'll give you a hint. There's a train.
Oh yeah. So basically, there was a dust operation going on by Roman, and then Team RWBY tried to stop them, but then they lost, and they lost because of Neo. Out of the blue, right? She's first introduced. She's mute, but she's got this like cool, like umbrella that just beats the shit out of everyone. But she's also like, I guess she's a waifu character inside the show.
She's like Mary Poppins.
Yeah. She's like quiet Mary Poppins, but like e-girl style.
E-girls. Yeah, she looks like the ice cream.
And then after Yang got beaten, her mom came up like Spider-Man, basically like everyone gets one. She's like, I saved you. Now I must leave again, and you'll never see me ever again. And then yet again, Yang doesn't get to see her mother. And I feel like Yang goes through having parental issues, right? Because like not only is her mother, but like her father's like living in a log cabin and not.
Oh yeah.
Like he's living the good life. While Yang's at school thinking like, oh, I hate my parents. Oh man, I the only person I care for is my sister. Oh, and that's basically her character. She cares about her sister.
Oh yeah, so RWBY and Yang, they're half sisters, so they have different moms.
After they failed the train heist, basically, this leads up to I think the start of Volume 3, which I'll let you take over.
So leading into Volume 3, this is when the Vital Festival occurs, which is like it's the classic tournament arc that they have to go through. Pretty much the best fights you'll find in RWBY. Well, scattered throughout 1, 2, and 3 are the best fights in RWBY. So because RWBY is the main characters of the show, they progress to the tournament. In Volume 2, we forgot a character that got introduced. Penny.
Oh yeah, Penny the robot.
Yeah, Penny the robot, which we don't learn she's a robot until the episode after she's introduced or something. So her secret's a bust.
Yeah, she's basically like, oh, I'm super powerful, but like because I'm a robot, I don't know emotion. I met RWBY, the main character. Oh, she's my friend?
Oh yeah, another thing that's important to know about RWBY is that all these characters are like based on fairy tales, folk tales, mythology, whatever. So Ruby Rose is based on Little Red Riding Hood. Weiss is based off of Snow White, I think, because her name means snow, white snow in German. Weiss Schnee. Blake is based on, I think it's Beauty and the Beast. Her abusive boyfriend Adam being the Beast.
Yeah.
Which he is also introduced in volume 2 or something.
Yeah.
They had trailers also. There was like a trailer for each of them. Those are pretty good. Yang is based on Goldilocks, but very loosely. All of Team Juniper are gender-bent versions of mythological characters or like historical figures. So John is based on, well, his name is John Arc, so John Dark, the French lady who got burned at the stake.
Oh yeah.
Nora Valkyrie is based on Thor. She's whole lightning aesthetic. Lai Ren is based on Mulan, and Pyrrha is based on Achilles. That's important later in this volume.
Yeah.
Another thing is that all these characters have semblances, which are kind of like their side magic power that they have. So, for example, Ruby could turn into rose petals. Blake could make shadow clones.
Yep.
Yang is like Bakugo. John's semblance isn't revealed until later. Nora, lightning. Pyrrha, she can control poles.
Yeah, she's like Magneto.
Yeah, she's Magneto.
Yeah.
And Lyren is like a Jedi or something. Or he has like a inner peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just depression.
It's just depression.
His power is depression.
Okay, so back to volume 3. So Penny appears. This is where Ironwood shows up. He is the general and headmaster of Atlas Academy.
Yeah.
We also get introduced to Weiss's sister, older sister, Winter. Also, we get to see Ruby and Yang's uncle, Crow.
Very cool character.
So throughout the festival, yada yada yada, something happens. Cinder shows up, who is like the real villain behind the scenes until she isn't. So Cinder, Mercury, and Emerald, they also participate in the festival, the tournament.
Till fuck it up.
And then they stage the tournament in a way to wreak havoc. So there's these creatures of Grimm that we forgot to mention that like feed off negative emotions. And in the festival, they rig the fight or rig the like selection. So one of the fights is Yang versus Mercury, and what Mercury does is pretends to get injured using Emerald's OP Genjutsu. So then they make it seem like Yang attacked him while he was surrendering. So that's a war crime. And then after that, the next day at the festival, Penny goes against Pyrrha, and because Pyrrha is Magneto, she completely decimates Penny the robot. And then after that happens, Grimm start attacking, the White Fang appear, a fucking dragon comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Pyrrha dies, she gets shot by Cinder in the Achilles heel, because she's based on Achilles. Ruby uses her silver eyes, and it's useful in only that moment. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the reason why Cinder's attacking in the first place. She's after like the maiden or something. There's like these 4 maidens that have magical powers.
Yeah, she's basically after magical powers and relics, right?
Yeah, and then after this, the show goes really downhill. So let's like lightning round the last few volumes.
Yeah. So this is volume 4, right?
Volume 4.
Yeah. So Beacon falls, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" Right? It follow Beacon. It's broken.
No.
Right? So I'm pretty sure Weiss goes back to her father's place.
Yeah.
And then John, Ren, and Nora go to some village, right?
They travel with Ruby.
They travel with Ruby in the forest because they have nowhere to go. The Beacon's kind of taken over, right? So Sun and Blake develop their romance, and they go fight racism.
They develop a fake romance.
Yeah. Don't worry, there's gonna be more of those.
Don't worry, there's more.
Yeah, and then Volume 4 goes on to explain the concept of like relics, gods, but more like backstory, and then they start to talk about what are Grimm. Basically, anything that's black and a creature is evil in this show.
Yeah.
So, that's that, and then I guess you can just call this a main character, but like Ozpin, the person who like knows everything, who will later be like the key to Team RWBY's success, becomes basically a Shota.
He becomes a Shota named Oscar.
Because in the follow Beacon, Ozpin just fucking dies and then becomes
Yeah.
Oscar. Like literally, like just random kid just gains a conscious of Professor Ozpin, and now that's that. And I think Ren and Nora, they actually developed. They developed their real relationship when they're fighting in the village, right? They're like, oh shit, this is our hometown. Oh no, it's overcome with the Grim. Oh no, we're hiding. Oh, and then Ren activated his depression, and then and then Nora's like, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And then that's basically it for Volume 4.
Yeah, Volume 4. There's so much exposition and random lore bits that don't matter. So Volume 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, the rest that came out, could actually be summarized into like one volume because the pacing is so bad. So I'm just gonna summarize the last 4 volumes. So basically, they make it to Haven, they save Haven, they go to Atlas, they fail saving Atlas, then they fall into the endless abyss, and literally nothing else of importance happens other than those big events. I guess you could say, like one thing you can mention is Blake and Yang have a fake romance also.
Yeah, Bumblebee.
Yeah, Penny comes back to life, and that's about it. So that's RWBY. So as you can see, we spent more time talking about the first 3 volumes, and that's because they're obviously better than the rest. So if you're gonna watch RWBY Molester, then you should stick to the first 3 and then cut it off there.
Stick to the first 3 and pretend that everyone died at the end. But RWBY does like get into like a huge mess after like 3, because director change and all that. And then there's also problems of like power scaling, right? Some people get one-shotted. Sure. And then RWBY becomes, from a show standpoint, to just a porn franchise. I mean, it's good for the boners, but in terms of the show, I personally thought it was like I didn't like it.
Yeah, good for the boners, bad for the brain.
Yeah, which are two different entities.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Molester. So we'll go on to our second question, or not question, topic, by another hard one. Let's see, Hugh Janus.
Hugh Janus.
Hugh Janus. Oh, okay. This is actually quite similar. He asked us basically what are our thoughts on another show called Miraculous Ladybug. So I guess this episode is a twofer for like shows.
A 2-for-1er.
Now I know we were negative on RWBY, but Miraculous Ladybug.
Another 3D animated show. This time by the French, Hawk Daddy Thomas Astruck.
Yeah.
So Miraculous Ladybug, it's pretty interesting. Like sometimes it's so like you like it's a nail biter, it's a ball biter, it's an eye biter. It gets everything because there's definitely like obvious drop in quality in some areas like writing, animation, but overall it stays consistent with its format. But there's some very interesting villains, like minor villains, but the main antagonist, Hawkmoth, aka spoiler, you'll learn this in the first episode, Gabriel Agreste.
Yep.
Is one of like the greatest cartoon villains of all time, and he might as well not even be a villain. He's more like an anti-hero, I guess, because he's doing evil, but he's doing it for
love.
For love, yeah. It's like the classic quote: "The road to hell is paved with the incantation of good intentions."
Yeah, and to explain to our fellow boners, what the hell is Miraculous Ladybug? Magical Transformation Girl and Magical Transformation Boy, they don't know each other's real identities, but they know each other's magical identities, and they go and fight the main villains, basically goons. Because every episode, this guy named Hawkmoth, as he explained, he basically mind controls someone or akumatizes them with his power, right? And turns them into like basically just from people who have been cheated in life to just badasses. And some of them are pretty weird, and some of them are just awesome. Like, what the fuck?
He brings out like the inner evil and like their kind of carnal desires whenever they get angry. So if you get angry but then compose yourself, the little Akuma butterfly will go away.
Yeah, and one of the episodes, he basically, when he akumatizes one of the mimes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When the mime becomes powerful, he basically the mime can just pull out any item. Like, remember when he pulled out the rocket launcher, an invisible rocket launcher, and just shot at the main character, Marionette.
He's basically playing Gmod.
Yeah, like stuff like that is like really, really funny, and the show is pretty repetitive. It's like every episode's like that. It's like a new goon.
Yeah, but they're really creative with how they do it. They do have some repeat episodes, but we gotta cut them some slack because they're very creative each episode with the designs and powers of each akumatized villain. It's like some cool ones are like Dark Blade, Roger Cop.
Oh yeah, Roger Cop.
And that's all I remember. Some of them have really weird names, especially because the translation is might not be like true to French to English, so I can't really remember the rest. Well, let's mention the main character first. We have Marinette Dupancheng, half French, half Chinese.
Yeah, and her dad owns a bakery.
Right? Oh, yeah, her dad is brolic as hell. He's like a JoJo character. He's really buff. So and then we have the main male character, which is Adrian Agreste. His mom is dead, and that's why Gabriel or Hawkmoth, his dad, wants to resurrect his wife. Hawkmoth's main goal is to get the Ladybug Miraculous, which is a set of earrings, and the Cat Miraculous, the Black Cat Miraculous, which is a ring. And if he gets both of them together, he could basically he gets like one wish, and his wish is going to most likely be
bring back his
wife. So the Cat Miraculous has the power of destruction, and the Ladybug Miraculous has the power of creation, or otherwise known as like the MacGuffin Deus Ex Machina maker.
Yeah, and then when you combine them, you basically combine plot armor with a plot sword, and then
yeah, plot sword. I've never heard that one before. Well, sometimes the plot sword gets defeated. Like a lot of times, they call it his secret move, Cataclysm. That's the plot sword, but sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, and there's other miraculous users.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a turtle guy, there's a fox lady, there's the bee lady.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of they're like furries.
Basically, they're just dressed up like lesser miraculous users, but like they're still cool though. Like it's still good. Like I personally like Miraculous. I thought it was so crazy. Like it's still kids show, but it's still crazy enough. It's like fuck, man, I just love it. Like
there's some different combinations also. I know because there's some episodes where Marinette combines Miraculous because she's greedy as fuck.
Yep.
And she needs all the power. The first season is weird because what should be the first two episodes are at the end of the season. Yeah, and
not only that, but the entire season and also the other seasons, there's like so many levels of irony in the show that like that's another reason why I keep coming back to it. It's just like it's because like Marinette does not know Adrian is
Cat Noir.
Sorry, I was blanking on it. But Cat Noir likes Ladybug, but Adrian does not like Marinette, right? Because he doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
But they are each other's like opposite lovers or foils.
It's the weirdest love square ever.
Oh yeah, we have to include what's her name?
Oh yeah, it becomes a love pentagon or something. So there's a Japanese lady named Kagami,
which basically looks like Marinette, but super Asian.
Marinette but Japanese.
Yeah.
And she liked Adrian, and then there's a blue-haired fruity boy named Luca. But he likes Marinette.
Hey, but Luca's pretty like he makes solid moves without even trying.
Luca's a beast.
Yeah, Luca knows, and he takes L's though. He does take L's, but he also takes W's in a way.
Well, no, he's so like secure about himself and his relationship with Marinette. He doesn't have L's.
Yeah,
like he will encourage her to go after Adrian, and he doesn't care. He's just such a bro.
Yeah.
Like if he gets it, he wins. If he doesn't get it, he still wins. He's still a good friend.
Yeah. Like his boner's never flaccid. Like he's still happy.
And he could play the devious like.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player. French guitar player.
Doesn't whole family play music? Oh yeah. His father has a crocodile and plays the guitar also.
Yeah, his father, Jagged Stone, who looks like Johnny Depp.
I would say like you just remind me like there were also really good like interesting characters in there. Now again, still a kids show, right? But it's like
I mean I think it's more like a teen show, a young teen show.
Yeah. Well, one con I would have to give Miraculous is that it's kind of really fast. It's like Marinette just like she just never changes in a way.
She's on crack.
Yeah, she's on crack. And then she changes like her like how she fights, I guess, and like what she has to do, like her tactics. But like in terms of like loving Adrian and like what she has to do, there's like one episode where she like learns about like, oh, I can't force Adrian to love me, but the next episode does it anyways. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's very episodic. It has continuity, but it's still very episodic.
Yeah.
But that's the great thing about it is the side characters you'll see like doing their daily lives. So as like fantastical as it is, it feels very real. Like, you gotta get immersed in Paris, and you can learn a lot about the locations in Paris, or something like that.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, I think Mo Lester should just not watch RWBY and should just like watch Miraculous Ladybug first.
Yeah, there's like 4 seasons out so far. The 4th one's still airing.
Yeah.
You'll never find where you could watch it though. Like Disney has such a strong hold on its balls that you'll never find it in dub.
The thing is,
like you'll never find where it airs on TV.
It's made in France, then sent to like Disney over here, right? To be aired.
And like it's like dubbed in English.
But dubbed in English.
You'll never find it aired ever.
Yeah. I'm surprised they had enough. I'm surprised like they didn't cancel after 3rd.
They had the budget, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be a 5th. Okay, but the movies though, the movies are Miraculous.
Oh my.
They're interesting.
they're like, yeah, they're very strange.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. The pacing is all off.
Yeah, it was very quick very quick.
I'm not sure if it's like the director's issue or if it's corporate.
I think I might be corporate, because the thing is, those movies felt like an episode. Like it was just the same like structure. Like, oh, defeat Hawkmoth.
Even though it was like an hour long, it felt like it shouldn't have been.
It was basically like an episode just stretched out, right?
Yeah.
And then like introducing characters you'll never ever see again, like the people inside New York, right?
Oh yeah, the Americans.
Yeah, and you find out that New York is just as a shithole as it is now. So it's like, nice. Just take us back to France. Right.
Yeah, go back to France, please.
So honestly, solid show. Would recommend.
Yeah.
Hurry up and watch that Mo Lester. Like,
yeah, hurry up and watch it. Well, actually, like to do like a final rating on a scale of 1 to 10, what is RWBY, and then same for Miraculous.
So RWBY was good on volume 1, 2, and 3.
Like simple scale of 1 to 10 overall show. What would you rate RWBY?
So I think I would give RWBY like a 3 for like 3 volumes, right? Like I'll give it 3 for 3 volumes, because
I give it like a 5 at least. It's watchable.
It is.
There's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I was edging to a 4.
Oh, you're edging to a 4. I see.
But it was just there's one scene that just ticked me off, and it was when RWBY just got one-shotted inside the volume, like one of the volumes, I think volume 7 or 8.
I think like every volume.
Yeah,
one shot.
Just get one shot. Like the power scaling. Yeah, it's watchable. It's just the power scaling got really whack, and maybe I mean I guess I'm biased, right? Because I am giving a rating. I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay.
But if it was an 8 out of 8 scale, I'll give it like 3 volumes out of 8. Good. But because it's 10, I'll give it like a 3.5. So, but I do agree with you. I think it's watchable. It's just but if you enjoy watching bad shows, because like sometimes I like doing that. It's pretty good to enjoy.
Yeah, well, compared to Miraculous, I'd give Miraculous like a 7 out of 10 or
same
7.5 maybe. The power scaling is much better in Miraculous actually.
Yeah.
I mean, sure the heroes always win, so I guess Hawkmoth never really has a chance. So like at least they're consistent. I'd rather have one side always winning than it'd be super inconsistent.
Well, also there's new powers do get developed inside RWBY. They're like, besides semblances, right? There's not really much like power development, but I would give for RWBY that they do the villains are winning, like the villains are super powerful until the very end, right? Or who knows?
Yeah, but they don't make it believable. Like if the characters are getting one shot, it's not believable that they're winning. Like it feels like the villains have plot armor and plot swords this time.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not. I don't think they're gonna make a volume 9, right? There's some bad.
They are.
Oh, they are.
I hope not, but they are.
Yeah. The thing.
It was delayed into 2022, but we'll see.
Yeah. Thing is, like, Rooster Teeth has been some bad weather.
Yeah, but that's a different topic. Not even a topic that's been covered already. But yeah, that's it, Molester.
Yeah. But let's get ready for tonight's boner fact.
Oh.
So this one's really short and sweet.
Just like me.
Did you know drinking or smoking can lead to erectile dysfunction? Now, this was a no-brainer, but come on, guys. We have to remind you, like, don't drink or smoke. It can be really bad for your boner.
Yeah, most importantly, don't smoke. You're allowed to drink, but don't drink and drive. And be careful with tobacco or even vape, because that's not cool.
That's not cool. You can drink, like, water. I know water's still in fashion today. It's like...
Yeah, water's good. I know some people, like, when they try to quit smoking, they either go to chewing gum, or if they're trying to quit alcohol, they go to soft drinks. That's the difference. Like, hard drinks is alcohol, soft drinks is, like, sodas. But then be careful with sodas too, because soda, remember the last boner fact, the fatter you get, the more your boner gets buried. So be careful on the sugar too.
Oh yeah. So I know today's boner fact was very simple, but it's just a general reminder that, you know, we want to have a healthy boner society. So please take care of yourselves, guys and pals and gender neutral pals. So thanks for boning in on the Bonercast on 98.7 The Squirt. I'm Dixie.
And I'm Hazelnut.
And we'll see you guys next time.